What's going on, guys? Mr. Gouge here, bringing a brand new Corbacraft like interview thing. This is episode 2, and we're here with Wyn. If you can't tell, I mean, she's standing right in front of us, so it's pretty obvious. But anyways, so today the goal first off is to keep it 8 minutes or under, and we're gonna try to hover that like kind of 8-minute line. So keep that in mind, Wyn. We're gonna kind of cut the interview short if we have to, and so on and so forth. Like, we gotta hit that 8 minutes. We gotta get used to that. So first question for Wyn. How long have you been on the server?
I don't know exactly. Several years, like 5, 6, 7 years. But if this helps put it into perspective for players, I was on the server the day Rose, one of our admins, got the helper rank. So it's been a while. Like before the first hub, before Lothar, before all of that. So I'm a pretty old player.
Yeah, she's kind of like an OG, as they call it. I remember seeing Wyn way back. Oh gosh, I don't remember what spawn that was, but I remember seeing you. You were, I mean, first 3 years of the server, somewhere along those lines in the first 3 years for sure.
Oh yeah, like back when you had a public jail and people could like laugh at the people in jail.
Yeah, she's been here for a while. Obviously, her staffing career, she's been on and off and on. You know, real life, obviously, calls for that to happen sometimes, which, it's whatever. Speaking of which, Wyn was staff, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. At that point in time, she was engaged, I believe. And she now,
Yeah.
2 or 3 years later, has a kid with the person she's engaged to. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the reasons I took a break. So I hadn't planned on leaving staff last time I left, but I became pregnant and I was a high-risk pregnancy, so I kind of took a break from all video games. And once I had the baby and me and my husband and her were all settled, I came back.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. That's a pretty awesome story. And there's, I want to say that's probably the most unique, one of the most unique staff coming back type stories we have on this have had on this server. I mean, we've got a couple other ones that are pretty unique as well, and each of them have their own kind of stories and their reasoning, which a lot of them are for pretty serious reasons like this. And just have the staff members that have these experiences come back is something that is pretty awesome and says a lot about kind of the community we have here, which is pretty cool. Oh gosh, what is, like, this is a question I asked Shadow and it took him a bit, but what is the best memory you've had on your server, that, or the first one that comes to mind that you're just like full of happiness about?
Let's see. Does /nuke KitPVP ring any bells?
Oh god. Yeah, so let's explain that whole situation. So this was when we had a KitPVP server, probably about, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, right? Maybe a little, well, it's about 3 years ago. Yeah, we had a KitPVP server. And I think we just made this map. Is that correct?
Yeah, you had literally released it that day and you were hosting a party. You're like, everybody, let's go. You got all the staff in TeamSpeak. You got all the players over there, and then you nuked the crap out of it.
Okay, she's leaving out a lot of details, but there was probably 30 or 40 people on this KitPVP server, and it was a pretty big deal. Like, it was an awesome KitPVP experience, a brand new map, super custom things that the server's never really seen before, and that's never really been done on many other Minecraft servers. And so everyone's hyped about it. We're all playing and whatnot. And I realize that that I'm dying a lot and I'm getting frustrated. So instead of being a normal person and just quitting, I nuke it. And if you don't know what /nuke does, it drops a load of TNT on every single person, probably about 20 TNT per person. Well, so I didn't protect the build from explosions. So this entire build, and this was before the days of, being able to roll back. So this entire build was blown to pieces in the matter of seconds because I am a dummy and forgot a couple of things.
We did have rollback back then. You just didn't put it on the PvP server.
Yeah. There's literally no need for it until you get me in there. I start typing things into the little command thing. It's this command right here. If you do /nuke, I'm not doing it right now. It'll nuke everybody on the server with like 20 TNT. Not everyone will die. Maybe 3 or 4 will die. But this is on Alex, so not many people would die here. Probably 1. But it's a crazy situation, and that whole adventure pretty crazy. That's a good memory. That's for you. For me, that was like, whoops.
Yeah, and then you tried to get all of us staff to help you rebuild it, and literally none of us had permission. It wouldn't let us.
Yeah, that was brutal. That was an interesting time. That was when we had probably just a little bit more players than what we have now. However, we were not as organized as we are now. Like now we're super duper organized compared to then. So everything was always a cluster. But that's a good memory. What's something, this is, getting back to those generic questions. I mean, that was a good conversation we just had about that whole. What's something you want to see like come to the server? I'm not meaning like a change, like a changing would be a different question. But something you want to see come to the server and, what, like, I don't know. What's something you want to see, I guess, come to?
Honestly, if you had asked me this last time I was staff, I would have said I want to see us go back to our roots because I'm an OG. I remember what the server was like in the old days. I know what Corba feels like. And there was a time in Corba's history that we deviated away from that, and Corba didn't feel like Corba anymore. And I actually kind of didn't enjoy playing around that time, but I stayed anyway. And if you had asked me then, I would have said, let's go back to our roots. But we're here now, and we are going back to our roots, and we're in a much better place now. So I don't think I would really add anything to that. Maybe I'd like to see some more features for our donators since things have been so wonky with all the changes over time. But other than that, like, I'm kind of glad that we've gone back to where we came from.
Yeah, that was, whenever Corbacraft 3.0 came along, that was like the main focus, is going back to those kind of OG type days 4 or 5 years ago. Not even 2 or 3 or 3 or 4, 4 or 5 roughly years ago. To where, it's everything's kind of simplified and we focus on just the core survival aspects, which has really worked out well for us. It's a lot better on stress levels for myself and the other admins, and I'm sure the other staff as well. Having this, more simplistic design, not overcomplicating things or constantly having to worry about bugs and stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat. There's not much I would change either to the server right now, with the exception of a couple additions of things. Like even with our additions, we're super kind of careful. It's super safe about how we do them and how we make sure that they fit into the current simple guide. But that, I'm not going to get too far into all that. We're coming up on 8 minutes now, so that was pretty brief. That seemed like a really quick conversation, but we got a lot better. I mean, we stopped that, like, we just ended that question at 8 minutes. So the timing was perfect. Yes, that was good. I'm not sure when your episode is going to air. I have another episode that's going to be coming out here. I don't know if yours is going to be next or this other one. I don't want to like say it if yours is coming next and ruins it. 'Cause the other one's going to be quite interesting and quite a different perspective because it's not a current staff anymore. But we'll see. With that being said, thank you, obviously, Wyn, for participating in this. I really appreciate it. It was a good time. And I still haven't made the forum post, but I'm gonna work on getting the forum post up for you guys to obviously apply to, get involved in this interview thing. But it's crazy at work right now because I had 3 days on and I have to day off, or no, and then I have 4 days on, and then I get 3 days off, and it's it's crazy at work right now. But anyways, that's a whole nother situation. So I'm hoping to get this out by Tuesday. Hopefully this video will be up by, what day of the week is it?
I
Saturday.
think it's Saturday.
Yeah, the goal is to release these on Tuesdays, just kind of keep it consistent. And with that being said, I'm also going to start my hardcore survival series here soon, and that whole situation will be announced in a separate kind of situation, but that's going to be kind of hype because it's going to work into our hardcore server that we've been focusing on. With that being said, guys, go ahead.
While I've got you, do you want to come check out what we've done so far with Hunger Games?
Well, you just gave the biggest blooper or the biggest hint ever, Wyn.
Are we still recording?
Yeah, but we're leaving that in for the people that hanged on until the 10 minutes, so that's kind of funny.
Oh crap!
Anyways,
accident.
Whoa!
I didn't know.
Thank you so much for watching. People are coming in and ruining this episode of interviewing now. Shadow showed up. I'm pretty sure he's not even in America right now, so I'm not sure how he got in Discord. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Where's my record button?